Well, hi. Welcome to my world. Come on in. I survived another bowling 2 months in a row. Just a just a slight little takedown here on my it was quite a night. 3 rounds of bowling. But I'm here. I made it. But it is going to be an early night tonight. I can't believe probably one of my earliest videos. But come on in. Welcome to my world. My name is Colleen Liz Frost, and I am your coach 7 days a week, and I am in development. And I just finished my second shoe event. This one is bowling, and it's the first Friday of every month. And I'm here to tell you that I have survived. And I can get my arms up, but it was an extreme bowling night. Two of my friends showed up, and they can bowl. Well, the one especially is especially good, and the other one, his cracking is so loud that, well, let's just say he is also in development. But him and I together, we are just trying to keep up with the other one. Anyway, welcome to my world. It is fun to look forward to having something like this to do once a month, and I look forward to all of you joining me soon. But just know that I think bowling is just a great way to get out and do something while you socialize, as I am starting to get out there. Day 7 of my new business, I Am Rare Presents. I call this the pregame warm-up, and we are talking today about reuse. But first, with my bowling report, I just want to let you know that Bryce and Zach, first of all, thank them both. They streamed on this internet years ago. They had YouTube channels, and now they have moved on to this thing called VC, our VC chat, or VR chat, and Discord. And, literally, I could have talked to these two all night. They were talking my kind of language. They're my kind of people. They're young, about 20 years old. And it was just kind of fun because my son is 21 and they sounded a lot like how he sounds about the things that are current. And I love what's happening now. And so I couldn't have had better teammates, to share my lane with me. And but most importantly, I want to say towards the end of our hour, there was an 8th grade boy that came beside our lane, and he had the coolest yellow marble ball that he took out of his bag, and he was just hanging on to this ball so tenderly, put it down, and it was like his pride and joy polishing it. So of course I had to go over there and ask him about the Monday ball. And he said, it's my grandmother's, and from 1927. It looked a little newer, but I just did not question this kid. I mean, this was his sacred ball. And he was so proud of it. And it was just fun to hear how his grandmother left it for him. And it was the highlight of my night. So celebrating history and creating more, this is going to be something good, I promise. If someone tells you that you have enough stuff, or you no longer need to go to the reuse store or garage sales or antiquing, I would suggest to stop talking to that kind of person, or just, I guess that's called ghosting. Maybe that's too cruel. I would just say to really ponder that type of person's tact, and maybe send them over here to my channel so I can coach them out of that type of thinking, or just share this video with them, because we're going to erase that negative thought. We just don't need that kind of negativity in our lives. I'm in development, and Fridays are for our tips and lessons learned. I'm a coach, and I was raised on the 7 days of balance and living life on purpose. Do you have a hobby, a collection? Do you collect salt and pepper shakers, beanie babies, biplanes? Yeah. or your grandma's shoe collection. I want to know. I want to know what you collect or what your hobbies are. Surely this is something, a part of your passion. Your stories matter. I want you to tell it here. I will reach out and I will hear your voice. Because becoming a preservationist takes time, and we have, first, I feel, to find our passions. And I know a lot of you have passions, and I can't wait to meet you. I dream of all things transportation. Today I was back on my love of flying. Biplanes have been a part of my past, and that's for another video. But after the gym workout with my Pete, I swung by the grocery shopping, my that's another video, but at our local reuse store. How many of you have reuse stores out there? This is something that our town is blessed to have. It's run by I just think she's a magical person, and their staff, every division in the reuse store is managed by an independent person. And it is neat as a pin, organized, and treasured. And I call this my local neighborhood museum when I go in there. And my mother and I went there all the time. It's one of my most treasured memories with my mother. We spent endless hours there, and I've just never have seen a reuse store so well managed and taken care of. We go up and down the aisles, and we would spend endless hours of chitter chatter, then coffee break in our car, and back for that final decision. It was the best $20 outing, and home we would go to show Dad. Well, today I was actively searching for some set designs for my living history tour. I planned to take on the road to you. Then there it was, staring right at me. I'm about to show you. Shall we? I don't know if you can see this clear enough, but here is the Barbie camper that will be perfect for one of my characters. It was just way up high on the shelf, and I was frozen. I mean, is that what happens when you find your treasure in a reuse store? I mean, I froze, and I could just see my character. I can't wait to show you and have you meet her. And there's a him and a they and a us. I almost start to palpitate, my heart. But when you are transporting a play and going to take your play on the road, you want your play characters to have their own transportation so they can travel safely. And I can barely lift this, but this is it's a reuse trailer. And I cannot tell you what it's like when you find that treasure. So I hope, and when I introduce you to my characters, it's over. So this is what happens when you go to a reuse store. Do you still have your Barbies? I don't know. Just leave me a note. Well, I have my very own Brad in my town. He has storage sheds, and he's my person. And in my storage shed, I have kept, most of my son's toys. That's a long story. But anyway, in this storage shed, I have walkways, and it's pretty organized. And it is my dream to place everything that's important to us in that digital home. I want to take pictures, I want to tell videos, and make this extreme digital home. And then I want to interview the rare people, places, and voices. And then maybe someday pack up those treasures and take them to a reuse store, like we have here in our town. And then just maybe a little 8th grade boy will make a treasure hunt to his local reuse store and find one of my treasures and take it home to his children. Widgets and things for us in our culture, we were taught that if it springs a good memory or something good, keep it. If it causes you pain, send it away. Our home is filled with emotions of joy, peace, and happiness. And today it was worth the expenditure of money. And my accountant told me that if I keep the receipt, that stuff like this here for my play would be called uh, what's it called? Well, it's like a write-off. So I kept the receipt. I wish I could have had a recording of this eighth grade boy's face tonight as he shared his marble yellowed bowling ball with me. It was his grandmother's. It was like an honor for him to share it with me as he held it to his chest like he was hugging her. I almost started to cry. I pray however long he has to cling to her through this yellow ball, that he will never have a random person say to throw it out. And if he does, I hope he runs away. So if you say this to someone, I want you tonight to really think of those biting words and think of that little boy in that yellow ball. And then think of people like me on a budget who's trying to launch this extreme business plan that I've been planning since I think my whole life. So when I find my set and it was, very, very reasonable, and I just think to myself, think of us and these little buried treasures, and please don't smash our joy of bringing home yet again another thing that someone might think is junk. Perhaps there is a young boy in all of us as we dance with our vintage umbrellas, or cling to our bathrobes and cherish our garage sale dishes until we can part with them. Memories to me are meant to be cherished. How can we judge another who chooses to dance with their loved one's items or stop to buy groceries in hopes to find something to spring that memory of them? Bowling, it reminds me of my son. I will bowl the first Friday of every month for the rest of my life. Tonight I was dancing in my mind of all the nights with my son. While listening to Bryce and Zach, I was being in the moment. Living history is a gift. Thank you for being a part of mine here. I'm working so hard to set up my pod. I guess you call it podcasting. I have so many rare people, places, and voices to show you on my map. I will be adding Bryce and Zach as they are now on my bowling league and on my team. Rare people, they are in our past. They're in our present. And thankfully, we keep looking ahead. And my mother was right. There is always a feather of hope if we just keep looking ahead. Fridays are for tips and lessons learned. Becoming a preservationist, I am becoming that head coach. Building that digital home and how to live life on purpose 7 days a week is what I'm doing. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for living your history with me on purpose 7 days a week. If you like it here, let me know. I'm learning how to balance my inventory of what I need from reuse to rooting around the basement and even asking friends for help. My Andrea, this lighting that's to my left and right, she's one of my very dearest friends. She borrowed me the lights. Do you have something that can be borrowed to that friend or neighbor? Think of people in need. And sometimes just think of people that would be able to treasure it as much as I do. My Kelly, over here, I have a set design that I can't wait to show you. She borrowed me an 8-foot tall set that she took to her trade shows. And they borrowed it so freely. And a very dear friend of mine. So I will anchor my love for them to their items as I sit and look at them, and I will take care of them for as long as I can use them. I am forever grateful for the team that I have and for sharing their treasures with me. Fridays are financial. There's tips I've learned and lessons learned, and then there's activities like bowling and shoe events. And next month, I'm hoping to pull off my dancing shoes. So find your rocks, grab a ball, and build a team. Look around for that feather. Hope is all around. So jump, bounce, and fly with me 7 days on purpose. I teach it, I repeat it, and I preach it with the balance. Like and share these videos, and remember that Fridays are for those who dare. Be avant-garde, be rare, and remember me. Sincerely, Colleen.